Netflix's other He-Man and the Masters of the Universe cartoon series had its second season land at the start of March. I had actually preferred this particular He-Man show over Kevin Smith's Revelation during their first seasons. Revelation did manage to redeem itself with the second part of its first season, but does this more kiddie-friendly depiction of the battle between Prince Adam and his Uncle Keldor still deliver the goods? Well, let's take a look. So, spoilers ahead for Season 2 if you haven't seen it already. Following on from the end of Season 1, Skeletor has now taken over the Palace of Eternos and is ruling over the people with an iron fist. But despite becoming king and seemingly having seen the last of his brother and nephew, it's not enough for Skeletor. He actually looks bored at times with the idea of ruling the kingdom. Of course, like many other versions of Skeletor we've seen previously, ruling over Eternia just simply isn't enough for him. He'll always want more, and he'll never be happy until he's truly gotten rid of He-Man. So he plans to become a god by recovering the 3 pieces of the Sigil of Hiss and raising an army of snake men from the dead. That is what we thought this series would be all about, the arrival of the snake men, like with Season 2 of the 2000X series. But the snake men that we saw in the trailer don't actually appear until right at the end of the last episode, literally in the last 5 minutes, which seems to be a bit misleading to me. So this is the first problem that I have with this second season. Now I have to say, I liked Season 1 more than I liked Season 2. This new season has got a number of really silly moments that it could have done without. Yes, I know that this is marketed towards a younger audience. Yes, I get it, I'm probably not the target audience for this. You know, the show that's been marketed for me is Revelation, not this CGI one. But come on, even the original classic cartoon wouldn't have had moments as silly as He-Man and Skeletor ballroom dancing with each other. Was this perhaps a reference to the Money Supermarket advert from a few years ago? Who knows? Other silly moments that we could have done without included Duncan trying to throw a birthday party for Skeletor. Why would he even do that? Why would he care that it's Skeletor's birthday? Why would he try to do something nice for him? Duncan does briefly get a moustache, like the classic Man-at-Arms when he gets some birthday cake thrown in his face. That was a nice little Easter egg for the fans. Another silly moment is that it's never really explained why Adam never tells Teela about the disappearance of Eldris. I get the idea that in the storyline is that mistrust and doubt begin to creep into the team of the Masters. But what good reason did Adam have to keep this important information away from his friend and teammates? Now on the plus side, I still really like the voice actors for this series. They all do a fantastic job. He-Man comes across, you know, even though he's this big muscly guy, he's still a bit clumsy and a bit of a klutz at times. And Skeletor, the voice actor for Skeletor, I thought was better than Mark Hamill in Revelation. Controversial, I know. I mean, I love Mark Hamill. There were times when you could tell that Hamill was trying not to get his Skeletor voice going into Joker territory. And on more than one occasion, it sort of slipped into that particular area there. I liked the new versions of the classic characters. For this season, we got Man-E-Faces, Stratos, Webstar, Triclops, and a gender-swapped version of Mosquitor. I really liked the new design for Man-E-Faces, and his character traits lent more into his background of a stage actor, far more than what his previous incarnations on the classic and 2000X series did. Stratos was one of the stars of the new series for me. He was brilliant. He was so egotistical and so full of himself that it's hilarious. He definitely has more of a personality than the previous versions of this character did. In the classic series, Stratos pretty much had no personality whatsoever, apart from he is He-Man's friend that can fly. You know, that's it. The 2000X series managed to make him somewhat more interesting by giving him a voice that made him sound like Sean Connery for some reason. I'm not too sure what the thinking was behind that. But this new version of Stratos is so much better. He's a cool character, but he's also an annoying one as well. But he's an annoying character that's done right. He's not annoying to the audience, but he's annoying to the other characters in the show. For us as an audience, we can only help but laugh at him. Well, laugh at him, laugh with him, be amused by him. He looks a lot like the Falcon from the Marvel Universe, but if he was played by Kevin Hart, if you can imagine that. The new web store had a great design, even if he didn't speak. He didn't say anything. But the bit where he teams up with Stratos to make a new team of heroes, that was genuinely funny. There's even a bit where they basically do a reenactment of the opening intro to the show, but with Stratos and Webster and these other characters. That was genuinely funny stuff. I hope we get to see more of the female Mosquitor as well. We've never seen any version of this character before in an animated show. Mosquitor was always one of those characters that had a really cool action figure. It's quite a difficult one to get hold of now. I mean, it's quite a rare figure. It's a much sought after figure. But Mosquito never appeared in any of the movies, any of the cartoons. Nothing really, just this toy form. So it's great that Mosquito, even if it is a gender swapped version now, which to me makes it more interesting, it's great that we've got this character now in animated form. I hope that Triclops eventually takes over a warrior's body so that we can have a version of the character that's similar to the classic design, because at the moment Triclops isn't actually a character, it's just simply a device that's been invented by Trapjaw. So maybe we'll see more of that going forward. Speaking of Trapjaw, I loved the point where as soon as Skeletor disappears from the throne, that Beastman and Trapjaw just literally just turn on each other straight away. You know, without Skeletor being the glue that holds them together, they just turn on each other without a moment's thought. Brilliant stuff. There's still no Too Bad, but we do get to see more of the two palace guards that bear their real names. And at one point, Cringer says "Too Bad" to them both. So surely that's a bit of foreshadowing. And at one point, the Mer people get mentioned. So perhaps we'll see Merman showing up in a future season as well. Teela and Evil-Lynn teaming up, although admittedly briefly, and realising that they have more in common with each other than what they would realise, was another highlight of the series. And it was something that was very reminiscent of the classic story, The Witch and the Warrior. Although we could have done without Gary the Giant Dragonfly, in my opinion. And then we come to the final episode of the season, with Krass eventually turning on the Masters. That was a superb bit of long-term storytelling. It's something that was indicated during the first season and numerous times during the second season, but when it finally happened, it was still shocking. See, this is what Revelation could learn from. Having their version of Ram Man appear for about 60 seconds and have one line voiced by Danny Trejo is just simply not the same as the long-term storytelling and dramatic twist at the end that this version of the Ram Man character got. Krass is now known as Rampage, and even though it looks like Skeletor is now dead, he has essentially come back as a ghost, like Scareglow, to get in Krass's mind and turn her against her friends. Does this mean that Rampage will become the new main villain in Season 3? Because you just know there's going to be a Season 3. Will the arrival of the Snake Men also mean that we'll see the arrival of Ratlaw, Cobra Khan, and even King Hiss? We do see King Hiss and even King Grayskull together in a painting within the palace on more than one occasion, so again, surely this is more foreshadowing. We'll have to wait and see for Season 3. I, for one, can't wait to see what happens next, and I've literally only just finished watching this series this week. It's like, yep, finish that. Season 3, please. Give me it now. The first season was so much better than Revelation, and even with season 2 having those aforementioned silly moments, there is far less to get annoyed about here than what we had with Revelation. In conclusion, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Season 2 is another winner, and I thoroughly recommend that you give it a watch. Anyway, that is the end of another little analysis / rant on He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Thank you to everyone that has taken the time to watch this video. If you have enjoyed it, then please take the time to leave a like and a comment on this video. Please also consider sharing this video across your social media, in particular with anything that's related to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And why not subscribe to the channel as well in order to see my other videos. But for now, thank you very much for stopping by the Big Daddy D Reviews channel, and we'll catch you again next time.